Welcome back, my Skibbity Sigmas. This is part 3 to my mini-series on how to beat the main 3 max modes from Girls Night. So with that in mind, let's not waste any more time and get to the mechanics of the game. For starters, in the office, if you look in the bottom left corner, you'll see a shock button. Once you click on it, it will activate, showing 5 lanes, and shocks the one you click on. If you open the cameras at the right of the screen, you have access to 6 cameras that are all useful in this challenge. Most characters spawn in the top cameras, as Swing and Shock spawn in the top camera, and D.D.D, D-Turtle, and Niku spawn in the top right camera. Speaking of the top cameras, all of the top cams are places Niku can teleport to. In the bottom 2 cameras, the door icons for each hall will activate, and you can use them to deal with threats. However, the doors can't be used forever, because if they're closed for too long, they'll break for about 4 seconds. And the hat icon, TP belt button, and the camera flash can be used on all cameras. Finally, to end this section off, in the main menu, there are 9 characters, a hard mode setting that gives characters new mechanics, and 5 modifiers that do the same. There's also a wrench that gives you the option to enable pre-patch, which I'll talk about later. Now that we've covered general mechanics of the game, it's time to cover every single character in the game, every hard mode change, and every modifier. But first, I would like to imply that we're discussing characters in categories of how they're dealt with, so this is the order. Swing and D-Turtle will come to the left and right halls on the cameras to get in the office. When either one of them appears in those cameras, close the door on them to make them leave. However, hard mode makes it so that Swing goes to the opposite hall after being closed, and makes D-Turtle fly in the office after closing her, and you have to click her. Finally, the aggressive Swing modifier can be added, which gives Swing a high chance to stay at the door she's at when you close her. The Shock characters consist of Shock, D.D.D, and Hatal Fortune. Shock and D.D.D are complete opposites, as while Shock gets inside your office faster and has a faster kill timer than D.D.D does. Shock stays in one lane for her whole office attack, while D.D.D can switch lanes quickly mid-attack. They are both dealt by shocking them. Hatal Fortune is simple. If you hear a clicking sound when you're on the cameras, flip them down and click her. Shock and D.D.D's hard mode make it so that if you've been in the cams with Shock in the office for too long, she kills you, and it makes D.D.D faster in the office. Hatal Fortune's hard mode mechanic isn't as simple though. Instead, her kill timer has been made longer, but clicking on her only partially resets her kill timer. This means you have to make her a huge priority throughout the game. Finally, camera characters consist of Sway, Ham, Niku, and Turtlebot. Unlike the Door and Shock characters, every camera character works differently. Ham will spawn in the left or right hall with the sound. When Sway appears, when she does this, the camera will click the hat icon. You have to select which hall she's in. Niku has a temper meter that goes down the more you have it rewinded. To prevent it from fully rewinding, and her killing you to go to the camera she's on and hold the rewind button. Turtlebot will follow Bout around, trying to find her, and if she sees her for too long, she'll start looking for you. To prevent that from happening, there's a button that teleports Bout to the camera you're on, if Turtlebot gets to the same camera as Bout. Sway's hard mode mechanic makes her appear in 3 cameras, and you have to flash her in order of the camera buttons. Ham's hard mode mechanic removes her Q. Niku's hard mechanic makes it so rewinding her temper only rewinds a third of it. And finally, Turtlebot will infect camera she goes to until the last one in hard mode. Finally, aggressive Sway makes it so you need to go to the cameras to see the order you flash them, and insistent infection makes it so that not all cams become safe after Turtlebot reaches the last one. Now that we've explained every character in the game, it's time to get to the strategy.
Chile, tajín, limón, sal, mango querían, pues tomamos mango. El problema no es cuando entra, sino cuando sale.
At the start of the night, I recommend you wind Miku immediately. This can make up for any time you're unable to wind her in the future. At around 8 to 10 seconds, swing, ham, and/or turtlebot will attack, and you'll want to deal with them in this order. Be aware you should only do this when they sync up. If one of them has been waiting for a while to kill you, then you're free to change the order. After this, you should wind Miku again. You want to get into the habit of winding Miku after dealing with those three, because that's when you're usually able to deal with her. You can also deal with Miku if Pam or Turtlebot are running late, or if the camera you teleport out to is the same as Miku's. D.D.D will eventually attack, and there are two possible situations that can happen when she does. If she's at the same door as Swing, you can sync them up and then drop the cameras to do her opposite attack. If she's at the opposite door of Swing, you can either flip down cams for shock, then deal with her, then flip down cams to deal with them both. The camera flip strategy for Hadel can still work in this mode, but there are some other things I need to say about her. She does get her kill timer reset more in girlboss, but she is still a problem. She can appear while you're closing Swing, and if Swing about to attack, you can either finish closing Swing and deal with her. Click her in the middle of closing Swing. The first option is safer, but requires more RNG, while the second option is riskier but requires less RNG.
Finally, most important of all, be fast. If you aren't quick enough while playing this mode, it's very likely you will die. For this, I recommend you just having lots of practice in general, which can either be beating preset with every modifier on, or beating gatekeep gaslight multiple times in a row to get consistent. Well, that's every single thing I need to talk about, so goodbye. See you in Metago and Wine 2025. But before I go, think we all know what time it is.